Hey everyone, and welcome to this deep dive. We're going to take a look at the life and career of Sir Lewis Hamilton.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a great biography here, and we're going to go way beyond just like a list of his achievements.
Okay.
Really good to try to figure out what makes him such a compelling figure,
Yeah.
both on and off the track.
You know what's interesting? What strikes me about Hamilton's story is that it really challenges that typical narrative of how you get to the top of Formula One.
Yeah.
He didn't come from like a wealthy family background like a lot of drivers do. His journey is really all about beating the odds.
Okay, so let's go all the way back to his early years. He was born in Stevenage, England.
Right.
Not exactly known for producing racing legends.
That's right.
And to make things even more challenging, his father, Anthony, had to work multiple jobs
Oh,
just to support young Lewis's karting ambitions.
that's amazing.
So thinking about that, what does that say about the barriers to entry in Formula One?
Well, it just shows you that raw talent by itself often isn't enough. You need opportunity. And for a lot of drivers, that opportunity comes from having a lot of money. Hamilton really shows you how rare it is to break into the sport without that financial backing.
It's incredible to think that he caught the eye of Ron Dennis, head of McLaren,
Wow.
when he was only 13 years old, just from karting. That's a testament to his raw talent.
Absolutely. Dennis saw something special in Hamilton, signed him to that McLaren Young Driver program, and basically set him on this path to what his career has become. That
Yeah.
early support was essential.
Let's fast forward now to 2007,
Yeah.
his rookie season in Formula One with McLaren. He almost won the championship in his rookie year,
Wow.
finished 1 point, behind Fernando Alonso, who was a two-time world champion at that time. It's like unheard of for a rookie to be performing at that level.
It really is a remarkable debut. He instantly became a household name, but I think 2008 is when he really cemented his place in F1 history.
Well, you're talking about that last lap overtake in Brazil
Yeah.
to get his first world championship.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that moment for our listeners?
That win, it wasn't just about finishing first. He showed that he could handle all that pressure, make a calculated move when it mattered most. That's what makes a champion.
But it wasn't all smooth sailing with McLaren, was it? That rivalry with Alonso caused a lot of tension within the team.
Oh, absolutely. You had two very talented, ambitious drivers, both wanting to be number one.
Yeah.
It led to some dramatic stuff on and off the track.
So in 2013, he moved to Mercedes, and that's when he really started to dominate.
Yeah.
That move happened at the same time as the start of the hybrid era. So can you tell us a little bit about those changes?
Well, in simple terms, these hybrid engines combine like the traditional engine with electric power. It creates a really complex power unit. Mercedes just really nailed it. Early on, gave their drivers a big advantage.
So it sounds like a combination of Hamilton's driving skills and Mercedes' technology. Just created this perfect storm.
Exactly. And the amazing thing is he was able to adjust to the new cars right away.
He went on to win 6 more championships with Mercedes, tied Michael Schumacher's record of 7 titles, plus he holds a record for wins and pole positions. It's just crazy.
It's like a level of domination that we haven't seen since Schumacher. But what I think is really interesting about Hamilton is that he's more than just a driver.
Yeah, let's talk about that. We're talking about his social justice work, environmental activism, even fashion.
He's become this multifaceted guy who uses his platform to make a difference in things he's passionate about. He's not just an athlete anymore. He's more than that. Yeah, he's totally broken out of that athlete stereotype. And one of the most impactful things he's done is creating the Hamilton Commission to try to fix the lack of diversity in motorsport.
Can you tell us a bit more about that for those who aren't familiar?
Sure. The commission worked with the Royal Academy of Engineering and did a bunch of research into the barriers facing Black people in UK motorsport. What they found was really interesting. It wasn't just that there wasn't enough interest, there were bigger problems going on. Well, they found that a lot of ways into motorsport, especially engineering, were really narrow, and you kind of had to know the right people, which a lot of people from underrepresented backgrounds just don't have.
So it's not just about talent then, it's about having the chance in the first place.
Exactly. The commission also pointed out the lack of role models and unconscious bias, which can make it hard for aspiring Black engineers and drivers to see themselves in the sport.
But the commission didn't just point out the problems.
Right.
They came up with solutions.
Right. And even pushed for some action to be taken.
Absolutely. One of the key recommendations was to broaden access to STEM education, especially for students from underrepresented groups. And Hamilton himself has been involved in making that happen.
Like what, for instance?
Well, he's backed programs like Mission 44, which helps support young black people in education and employment. He's also started Ignite, which is a partnership with Mercedes, to increase diversity in motorsport through things like scholarships and apprenticeships.
So creating those paths, those opportunities that might not have existed. Right. It's not just about checking boxes. It's about actually changing motorsport, making it a more inclusive and welcoming place for everyone.
And that connects to his wider activism
Yeah.
on things like social justice and environmentalism.
Yeah. He's been pretty vocal about those things, even when it stirred up some controversy.
He has. And I think that shows he's genuine. He's not afraid to use his position to say what he thinks, even if it means getting criticism or turning some fans away. Some people might say he should just stick to racing. But I think that misses the point. He's this huge global icon with tons of followers, and he's using his influence to make a positive impact.
Yeah, it reminds us that athletes, especially those at Hamilton's level, have this unique platform and responsibility to do more with it than just endorsements and promoting themselves.
Speaking of racing, let's talk about what makes him such a good driver. You've been watching him closely for years. What's special about his driving?
Well, one thing that really makes him stand out is how well he can adapt. He's great in all kinds of conditions. Dry track, raining, hot.
You talked about the hybrid era before. Did he have to change his style to adapt to those new cars?
Yeah, kind of. The hybrid power units are different. You have to think about energy management and braking, but he picked it up super fast.
I remember that race in Turkey a few years back. The track was so slippery, like ice, but he just glided through it. Other drivers were spinning out everywhere.
Exactly. He just finds grip where others can't. And it's not just luck. It's about really knowing the car, the tires, the track.
Apart from the technical stuff, there's also the mental side, that ability to perform under pressure.
Absolutely. He seems to get better in those big moments, those key qualifying laps, the fights for the lead on the last lap.
You can just see it in his eyes when he's behind the wheel. That focus, that determination.
It's like he goes into a different zone where everything slows down and he's totally in tune with the car.
And that's what separates the good from the great. Being able to block out all the distractions and do your best when it counts.
And Lewis has done that over and over again throughout his career. That's why he's won so much and broken so many records. But of course, nobody's perfect. And Hamilton has had people criticize him over the years.
What kind of things do people say about him?
Well, some people think he should stay out of social and political issues and just race. Others don't like his lifestyle. They think he's too flashy or spends too much.
But isn't that part of what makes him so interesting? He's not just doing what's expected. He's doing things his own way, speaking out for what he believes in, and being himself.
I think so. It's good to see an athlete, especially one as successful as him, not fit into a box. He's challenging the norms, pushing the boundaries, both on and off the track.
And you could say that Formula One, which has always been a very exclusive sport, needs that kind of change.
I agree. His presence has brought something new, a new perspective.
Yeah.
And forced it to face issues of diversity and inclusivity that had been ignored for way too long.
So to wrap up this part of the deep dive, it's clear that Lewis Hamilton is a complicated and fascinating guy. He's a record-breaking athlete, a passionate advocate, and a cultural icon who's gone beyond just motorsport.
He's like a walking contradiction, fiercely competitive, but also really caring, a global superstar, but with strong values, and always striving for excellence, both in racing and in life.
One thing's for sure, he's left his mark on Formula One and the world. Wow, it's been quite a journey, learning about Hamilton's life and career. If you had to pick one thing, what would you say is his biggest contribution?
That's a tough one. I mean, it's easy to just focus on all the championships, the records, his dominance on the track, but I think his legacy will be about something much bigger.
You're talking about his impact away from racing.
Exactly. His willingness to use his platform to speak out, to advocate for change, to challenge the status quo, even when it's uncomfortable or unpopular. That's what makes him different.
He's not afraid to shake things up.
No, not at all. He's challenged the old ways of Formula One, pushing for more diversity and inclusion. And he's done it while being incredibly successful on the track. It's amazing.
It's like he's changed what it means to be a champion. It's not just about winning. It's about using your influence to make the world better.
Yeah, and that's such a strong message, especially for young people. He's showing them that they can be successful and still stand up for what they believe in, that they can challenge things and fight for a better future.
He's inspired a whole new generation of drivers and fans, that's for sure. And I think his legacy will just keep growing as he moves into the next chapter of his life.
I wonder what he'll do next. Will he get into politics? Will he focus on his charity work? Will he keep pushing for change in motorsport?
Maybe he'll surprise us all and do something totally different.
Whatever he does, I'm sure he'll make a difference. He's shown us that he's not just going to sit back and relax. He wants to use his influence to make the world a better place.
So as we finish up this deep dive into Lewis Hamilton, I think we can all agree that he's a truly remarkable person, a record-breaking champion, a passionate advocate, and a cultural icon who has left his mark on Formula One and beyond.
His story is about talent, determination, and a commitment to making a positive impact. And it's a story that's not finished yet.
Well said. And with that, we'll leave you with this thought. What other barriers might Lewis Hamilton break down in the future? The possibilities seem endless. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, bye everyone.